Well, Monday's total eclipse of the sun was truly a once-in-a-lifetime experience. The clouds parted early in the morning, and Bloomingtonians and those across much of Indiana were able to witness the first eclipse in, for some areas of the state, more than 1,000 years. Now, many traveled from across the country to be in the path of the first eclipse in North America in 7 years.
The last eclipse, you can't describe it in words. Video doesn't capture it. You have to be there live. And it was such a mind-blowing, you can almost describe it as a spiritual experience, that we just had to do it again.
Now, Bear says now he's looking for an excuse to travel to northern Spain in 2026 for the next eclipse. If any Hoosiers want to see another eclipse, they'll have to travel too. The next total solar eclipse to cover Bloomington won't be until October 17th, 2153. Now, local officials and business organizations told Monroe County residents to prepare for hundreds of thousands of tourists during Monday's eclipse. Instead, residents experienced something comparable to a football game day at IU. Ethan Sandwise asks, where were all the people?
In a December interview, Visit Bloomington's executive director Mike McAfee predicted record-breaking crowds for the eclipse.
We're expecting this to be the size of somewhere between 2 and 5 football games all at once, anywhere from 75,000 people to some people are predicting over 200,000 people.
By March, those estimates had grown. Visit Bloomington said between 250 and 300,000 people could be coming to Monroe County. It and other local organizations loosely base those estimates on figures from the 2017 eclipse, which brought huge crowds to small towns such as Hopkinsville, Kentucky. The Indiana Destination Development Corporation told the public the eclipse would be the single largest tourist event to ever happen in the state.
Every resident, every student, and every one of the expected 300,000 visitors can enjoy the eclipse safely here in Bloomington.
But on Eclipse Day, those crowds didn't materialize. Local officials estimate around 50,000 visitors actually showed up, raising questions about the original estimates.
Do you remember where those figures came from? Who formulated those estimations?
I really don't. Just reading online reports and things like that. So maybe that was a mistake to look at the internet and take those estimates that you read in different articles from media reports and things like that.
Tourism figures could be lower than expected because this year's eclipse covered more populated areas than in 2017. 32 million people lived in Monday's path of totality, compared to just 12 million then. Bloomington was also competing against other Indiana cities such as Indianapolis and Evansville.
Definitely saw a pickup in the number of folks and around downtown and such throughout the morning. But I think we could all admit it probably, it definitely probably did not get anywhere near the expected numbers that were talked about leading up to the event.
It's too early to get complete estimates. The Bloomington Chamber of Commerce says we'll have a better idea once figures come in for taxes collected on food and lodging. Still, the agencies, departments, and businesses involved in planning have a rough idea of the numbers.
We didn't have a massive crowd of 100,000 somewhere by any means. We had a few thousand people in several various spots spread out and leaving and arriving at different times. So it was great. I thought it was a great event.
City and state-run parks saw some of the largest crowds. The Parks and Recreation Department estimated 8,000 people came to Switchyard Park, while the Department of Natural Resources said its 320-site campground at Lake Monroe was at capacity. Morgan Monroe State Forest had an estimated 900 guests and 200 vehicles. The Monroe County Fairgrounds also admitted 103 cars Monday. But perhaps the most anticipated Eclipse Day event was the Hoosier Cosmic Celebration at IU's Memorial Stadium. Star Trek actor William Shatner and Grammy-nominated singer Janelle Monáe headlined the event. The IU Auditorium says it distributed 9,397 tickets, but estimates only around 3,000 to 4,000 guests turned up. Hotels did perform as expected. By Thursday last week, most were sold out or near capacity. The Graduate Hotel says it sold out Monday and had the attendance it anticipated at its rooftop event. Local law enforcement agencies say there were actually fewer crashes and less gridlock than usual. Many Monroe County employers and schools asked workers to stay home and keep the roads clear. For Indiana News Desk, I'm Ethan Sandweiss.